User stories always felt like it's one of the things that helps us make sure that we're communicating, documenting, translating, sharing context. It can feel a little bit too much processy, too prescriptive. I've also seen the other side, though, where they are accountability of the product team to the rest of the organization that needs to work together to build something. In a perfect world, product design, marketing, research, product analytics, they all start on the project at the same time, right? The engineering team's fully informed. They're researching everything together. They're having discussions together. They're running their design sprints all together as a big happy family, and nobody needs context sharing. And I love it. That's great, but rarely in practice does that happen. Most of the time, it's we've got a PM, they can start on this thing, we'll let them research for a little bit, maybe we'll pull in a designer and they'll figure it out. And then once an engineering team frees up, they can jump in and start working on it. And in those moments where you're constantly having to onboard and share context and translate between groups, you want to make sure that you've documented things well, that you've written them in a really clear way, that you're able to communicate and hold yourself accountable for making sure that all of that work is done so that all the other folks coming on board can do a great job with their part of the process. User stories are one of the tools we have for async communication, context sharing, context building in a way that keeps us super focused on the customer. If you're not using them as an off point for communication, you're throwing them over the wall, right? Here, I've written all my requirements. I've done all my user stories. I've done my job. I'm going to pass it to you. And now it's time to do your job. And then you see the team being like, what does this mean? This isn't possible. They didn't write this. I don't know how to do this. There becomes a friction over the stories where it's like, you guys should have had a conversation. Of course, it's a tool to enable alignment and to make sure you have the conversations, you're all on the same page.